Hello. Hello, hi. How is everybody? Hi, Benji. How are you? I hope everyone's having a good day. Today we're having a chill writing stream because I have plans. I have some ideas for stuff I want to get done, and hopefully we can put like a good 2-hour block into just getting some work done, getting some writing done. And so, I'm prepared with my sip for today. Nothing crazy, just water. Yes, so Crispy Frog, you're here from the beginning. Hello, yes, welcome. So what's on my agenda for today? I don't know what you guys are going to be doing during this stream. Maybe you'll be working on some of your own stuff. Maybe you'll just be hanging out. I don't know. But for me, on my agenda, I'm going to be working on refining my categories in my world and kind of picking and choosing and figuring out what's going to go in each one. So I'm working on the structure of my world. And so for those who aren't actively like using World Anvil, this is kind of what I'm referring to. You know, you go onto your world homepage, you have your world codex, like your table of contents here. And so this is kind of the thing that I'm gonna be trying to refine. Oh, Benji, I'm here to say hi, and so I may leave. My Wi-Fi connection's pretty bad, can't really watch much. Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad you stopped by to say hello. Always good to see you. But yeah, so that is what is on my agenda today. We're going to be working on these, making sure everything looks kind of like, good and nice and actually displays my world content in a way I think is a good way to introduce it to people. Cuz and I was working on this a little bit yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yes, it was yesterday. So we started out yesterday only having 4 categories in total. And those were the community category was already here. It's kind of where I'm putting out all of my event and challenge articles. So we have, it used to be all under just like the one community page, but then I added some subcategories, so now we have events and challenges. We have World Ember, Summer Camp, and other challenges, and this is just where all the generic challenge articles go. It's fun. I like having a little I like having a little section for these. It's just fun to look back on them and see what you're doing, like, community-wise. But we had community, we had places, which used to be regions, and I've chucked a subcategory for the continent Nefirin in here. And so all of these locations, the individual places, regions of Nefirin, are all gonna be under here. We had peoples, formerly races, but I kind of don't want to, I don't know, I'm kind of hopping on the little movement of like kind of not using the word race in fantasy games anymore. I don't know, and it kind of makes sense to me. So for now, tentatively, it is named Peoples, and we're going to describe kind of the lineages, the bloodlines of people in this world. And like the longer I work on this, the more I'm kind of figuring out what I actually want people to be in my world, and maybe we'll get into that today. But yes, I am trying to keep it simple. Benji, like you're saying, I'm trying to keep it simple. So I have introduction, and that's going to be where I place like my world primer, like materials that I write specifically to introduce people to my world. So like an introduction to the world, introduction to whatever's going on here. That's gonna be this introduction part. And so the peoples, like these are the people that you can encounter, people you can be if we ever make like a game out of my world, things like that. That's going to be under the peoples tab. Powers. Race is used incorrectly. Yeah, I don't know, it was kind of like standardized by the genre. I think, I don't know this for a fact, but I think Tolkien was the one who used it first in the context of like fantasy people. And so obviously so much of what he did in Lord of the Rings and all of his writing just kind of like stuck. It's kind of like the hard baseline for a lot of fantasy these days. But yeah, people are trying to kind of move away from it because obviously when we use the word race in the real world, it means something very different. But yeah, who knows? We're just sticking to it. It's funny, I can see my messages pop up in stream and I see that I'm way behind. Yeah, well there's a lag between the actual stream and the chatters, so like that's a thing normally, but you did say your internet kind of wasn't that great right now. So, but yes, the powers category is going to be where I describe the powers at play in Malcora, and it's only showing one under here. It's only showing divinity right now because I don't have articles under the other ones that I've set. So we'll just do it on here. I don't know, can I, no, zooming in makes it terrible. Never mind, we're not doing that. So yes, we have our introduction, we have our peoples, and we have powers. So under powers, we have the big three forces of my world that I will put like articles under describing what those things are. So the powers, we have divinity, so we have the gods, we have the world spirit, and that's the elements, and we have the ley lines, and that's all the arcane magic flowing through the world. And I don't know, I'm a fan of that. I had a lot of fun. I hit a button, sorry. I had a lot of fun picking out icons. I'm just gonna see if zooming in helps see the icons. Oh, wait, hold on. Zooming in this much just makes it one thing. Yeah, there you go. Now it's really easy to see. Yeah, I have so much fun looking for icons whenever I'm doing stuff on World Anvil. And so yeah, you just look at this. We have this like little book with like a person kind of like introduction, like you're reading this thing about a thing. Yes, Venji, you say, as we say, we have elves. That's a species that can be called a people. Elves have some different characteristics or races. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally... I feel like that's how it should maybe work, but I don't know. Yes, introduction, we have person, like basically reading a book. That's the little icon there. And the peoples is a book with a people on it, so it's kind of like a little encyclopedia of peoples. And the powers, we have the magical sparkly hand. And I don't know, I kind of like that I've chosen this theme of every single one of these icons is like a hand. Some kind of hand. We have the praying hands for divinity. We have these hands like holding up a globe for world spirit. And we have ley lines, just this person kind of like holding up a little spark of magic or something, some kind. And then we have places. It's gonna be all the regions of the world. Little globe. And if you're in, I didn't know which icon to use for this one, so I just kind of grabbed like a mountain. There's a lot of those themes in there, so I thought a mountain would do just fine. And of course, the community tab. We have our events and challenges, we have all of these. And that's kind of where we are at this point in time. I'm gonna go now. Take care. You too. You take care. Thanks for stopping in. And yeah, so that... Oh... And so that is what we have going on as far as our categories, and that's how we're kind of organizing stuff. And so what we need to do now is kind of figure out what we're going to put into every single one of these categories, how we want to lay everything out, and how I want to present everything in my world. Like I put a little disclaimer at the top of my world page, says lots of changes are coming to Malcora, and that is true. You may notice articles missing empty categories and missing information. Be not alarmed. I have much rewriting and restructuring to do, so I thank you for your patience while all this takes place. And yes, absolutely, there are going to be a lot of things in here kind of plucked out of existence and then reinserted at a later time once I rewrite everything and make it fit what is currently correct in the world. And so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that happening. And so I invite you to take this little journey with me. It's gonna be very back and forth. I don't know everything that I'm doing. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of creation, isn't it? We're just hanging out, doing whatever we need to, and eventually we're gonna end up with a more finished product. I'm not gonna say finished, because I feel like a world builder's job is never quite done. But it'll be more finished. It'll be more organized. There we go, we'll say that. Our goal is organization today. So let me just pop open my little Notion. Wait, hold on, I was on the right tab. Oh no, why did I leave it? Where am I? Wait, hold on, is something like broken on that page? No. Whack, okay. So let's see. I'm gonna make myself a little page, just so I can do my little organizing. We will title this page Operation Categorize Malcora. And this shall be my mission. My mission of the day. If I also seem a little anxious today, it is because I have a package that is supposedly delivered, but the way deliveries work here is they get delivered to my office and not to my apartment. And so, though the notification says it has been delivered, I have not received it yet. It has not been placed at my mailbox by the staff yet. And so I'm just like, ha! It could come anytime from 10 minutes ago when I already started the stream and haven't checked downstairs to a couple hours from now. I don't know when they're working. So we're just gonna write and we're just gonna hope. I'm not worried about it disappearing. I just want it to be in my hands. That's all it is. Yeah, so let's see. We're going to make these little headers. We have introduction. Intro. What am I typing? Introduction. I'm good at spelling, I promise. So I believe after that, peoples, powers. And I was saying this the other day, I was very tickled by the fact that I have like this kind of 3 Ps situation going on. We got the peoples, we got the powers, we got the places. Alright, so we have these 5 base categories, I think is correct. Yes, we do. Fantastic. And now we get our little subcategories, like little H2s, events and challenges. Here we have Nefiran, and of course under the powers, we have the divinity, we have the world spirit, and we have ley lines. I feel like these don't do a very good job of like the H1 and H2 look very similar to each other. So what if we give them a little bit of separation, maybe put a line between them? It could help. At least that way I can see very easily that like these are different things, different categories, different spots to worry about. And so I'm wondering, because the way that this is gonna work, and we're talking about the people of Malcora now, is the same powers that exist and are at play also are the bloodlines from which the different people come from. So we're gonna have divine people, we're gonna have world spirit people, we're gonna have leyline people. And so I'm wondering if I should make, like if I should basically just take, oh god, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. I should just take all 3 of these and just kind of pop them here so we could say like, well, I guess they have like, they have their own names. So I had like the Faith Kept, I had the people as world spirit, and I had these as Leyborn. But because I kind of want to use world spirit as like the name of the power, I don't really want the bloodline that the people are from to also be named the same thing. Because like people could describe themselves as like being a Faith Kept, they can describe themselves as being a Leyborn, but if they're calling themselves a world spirit, they're basically saying that they are the thing, the source of the power. So I want one of them to change. And I don't know, because like World Spirit feels pretty big, so I feel like that would just kind of be like the power. It'd be the thing. So we'll just drop one of these here, little question mark. And I think now I'm just going to go ahead and see what articles I might want to make or add in to fill out these categories. Of course, for the introduction, I already made a little stub article. And that's the introduction to Melkora. That'll be the kind of like the primer, the first article that people will see is like, this is the introduction. Like, welcome to this world. This is what it's like, what to expect here, what it does, where it's going, like all that kind of stuff. And that will just be in the introduction tab. Like, no spoilers, no nothing. Just tell you the mood, tone, everything to do with, you know, everything. And yeah. So you have Introduction to Melkora. Beautiful. But I'm wondering now, okay, is I do want to have an article that describes the kind of like the phenomenon of people having these specific bloodlines. So of course I can create these categories, but maybe I would also want an article just kind of kicking around in here that's like, because I have an existing article, Ancient Bloodlines. I think it may be outdated, just kind of as it is, but the concept would be there. And so I'd maybe have this article just kind of floating in here. It's a toughie. Because honestly, I would want this to be like above the subcategories, because it would kind of make more sense to me. However, yeah. I don't know, we'll get there. But all we know now, or maybe it should be in the introduction. Maybe I should have this in the introduction and be like, this is how people work. This like the people's category can just be like the list of all the things that are there. And maybe the explanation of the concepts is
refresh yourselves.
Sippy time. Thank you, Keegan. Ah, very good, very refreshing. But yeah, so maybe under the peoples, I just have like the list of the people that exist, and then the Ancient Bloodlines like article describing how these bloodlines work and how people come to be, essentially, can be in the introduction. Like that is material that will introduce you to the concept of how people are a thing in Melkora. And then if you want to see more about them, here we go. There be the peoples. The powers. Get to know like the list of gods, but you'll learn what the powers are and what they mean by looking in the introduction section. So like this is I think I already have an existing article about this. Be faith? No. Pantheons? No. Pantheon of the New Age. Gods? God? No. Did I make it a generic article? Entities? No, I'm looking for the article that I started during World Ember, where I go into describing what, like, the list of like the pantheon, essentially, pantheons. And I could have sworn there's no way I deleted it in like the in the few months. Is it under characters? Maybe? I don't know, this is if I don't find it now, I'm just gonna be really bothered. So I'm sorry to derail the train here, as it were. Oh, but there's the Ancient Bloodlines article I was talking about. I'll just open that in a new tab and I'll go look into it after this. I need to know. I need to know where this article went. I don't know, we have Introduction to Malcora. That's something completely different. That is so crazy. Oh, hold on, you know, if I go look, can I look through the see the challenge page here? Check my progress. Maybe it'll exist here. Divinity of Malcora. What are you? Organization. Oh. It was under organization. Okay, interesting. Yeah, and I just kind of, I started this article just kind of defining what each of the pantheons are in Malcora, and so that can most certainly go. And so I'm thinking that can go into our little introduction category. So you pop in, first set of categories in the world, you see an introduction to the world. Like the world primer gives you everything you need to know, essentially. It's just like at face value. Renwa, thank you for subscribing. Hi, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, so we get this first category, introduction. You have the introduction, the world primer, everything you need to know. Just at first glance, like, hello, you've just dropped yourself into this world, here's what you need to know. Great, perfect. And then once you want to know more, maybe like what the people are like, where the people come from, what the different fantasy races are, you'll go check out the Ancient Bloodlines article, and that tells you how people function, what they are, what they do, how they come to be. Great. And say you want to learn more about the faith system, the deities, the everything. Then you have the Divinity of Malcora article. Pretty good. And we can just kind of ad-lib, we can... I don't really like the idea of having all these articles just like this of Malcora, this of Malcora. We've all got working titles. So we'll figure it out as we go. But yes. So just following that logic, we'll have like the Divinity article, Leylines article, we'll have World Spirit of Malcora. I don't know. And so yeah, we'll just have this list of articles that's like an introduction to the concepts that kind of run this world. And I think that sounds pretty good. I'll put this world spirit up here. I'll add it to the dictionary because it's a word I'm going to use a lot. And I hate fighting with the like autocorrect little corrections thing. Don't give me the red line. It's a word I made myself. Thank you. And yes. So my only concern now is like, I could combine the three of these. That's not what I wanted. H3. We could have one that's just powers of Malcora, but then, like, I feel like this kind of defeats the purpose of having a whole category tab for the powers, because then I could just grab these and put them down here, you know? So you know what, maybe the powers don't need to be in the introduction, you know? Or maybe it might even make sense to say that the powers could go above the people, kind of in turn order. So you see the introduction, you get the base introduction articles, And then you see the powers. You see how the whole world operates. Like what magic forces are behind everything that kind of, happens. And then you see the people. And these are the people, of course, that are affected by all of these powers. And it kind of gives you more context for what they are. And then you get the places. This is where you can find all these people. And of course, community tab is just to keep track of all the events and challenges I've been part of. Like my favorite, it's my favorite little set of articles just come back to. They're also my favorite to make. Yeah, so let's see, where did I want to go to? Yeah, Ancient Bloodlines article. But yeah, this is kind of where we started. When did I make this? Give me the metadata. 2020. Is that like the, I guarantee this was World Ember 2020. Yeah, entry for World Ember 2020. So yes, we have the World Spirit, the Primordial Bloodline. Shiffers! Hi Shiffers, thank you for subscribing. Oh, you're on your 2-month streak. Hello. I demand that you enjoy your day. If my demands are not met, there will be consequences. I dread it. I will take a sippy in your honor. How's that? Thank you very much. Oh man, you guys are really close to starting a hype train. I guess it's only 4 seconds, but still. Very good. Yes, I sip for thee. Yes, so we have Faith Kept, the Redeemed Bloodline, the World Spirit, the Primordial Bloodline, and the Leyborn, the Mystic Bloodline. Now these, I can already see from several things that I've written in here that they're not quite, they're not quite up to date the way I'd like them to be anymore. That is something that we can fix quite easily by doing this thing called writing new content. So yes. Because several of the actual the races themselves are things that I'm kind of like taking. I've already plucked the articles from existence, and I will be rewriting them, recreating them, birthing them anew with my new vision for this world. Oh my gosh! Shivers with the gifted subs. You're gifting 6 tier 1 subs. Oh my goodness. Oh, and that is a wonderful list of people to receive subs. Thank you so much. Yes, Shiffers to Roy Alpha, Savvy Tooth Tiger, Grinning Hazard, Atlas 803, Scone Thief, and Kitoipoi. You are much too kind to me. I appreciate you. I'm just gonna get a resounding this in chat right now. Wow! Look at little Gyoza dance. You've made him very happy today. So where are we? I'm gonna put my little notes in the first thing here. And yeah, so of course under Nefirin, I already have several articles. I have Volcan, if I can spell it correctly. Subgoal met! Yay! So how is your restructuring going? It's going quite well. I still have a lot of things that I'm trying to figure out, but we've at least made some headway as far as my articles, not my articles, my categories. Let me just zoom all the way in again, because that worked beautifully. Look at that. Beautiful. Lovely. We started off with only a couple of categories, now we have a couple more. Couple categories, couple subcategories. And yeah, so my challenge now is just figuring out what's gonna go in each one. And how many of the categories I actually need, and maybe which ones I can kind of put away or add or anything like that. Love the icons and the idea of an introduction category. Me too. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I got the idea for the like introduction category from TJ. So I did kind of snoop around a couple worlds for some inspiration to see how they laid out their categories. And I just thought that was like a great idea. So it'd be like From who? From TJ. Yeah, I popped open Melior as one of the worlds I was
Refresh yourselves.
gazing upon, and I was like, oh wow, the introduction category seems really cool. And thank you for the sippy. Yeah, snooping worlds is a great way to get inspired. Like people just come up with such awesome ideas, and I figure a little category, a little sniping of a category isn't gonna hurt nobody. Yeah, my whole goal is just figuring out how to present kind of like the most important content for someone new to my world in a way that's nice and organized and makes sense and doesn't like overload anybody, but also is not so sparse that people just kind of come away from it not knowing anything about my world. So I don't know. I want this to be like nice and fleshed out and filled out at some point in the near future. But we gotta do a whole lot of writing as well in order to achieve that. Because of course we have hello? Open. So yes, we have all these things going on now. And so I'm pretty happy thus far with how these categories look. If I can just fit all of them on the page here. There we go. I feel like I need to reorganize Agemus a bit more too. Did make a new continent on one of the other worlds this week. Ooh. Yes, new continents. Very exciting. I will one day make a new continent. Like maybe one day I'll brush all the ink off of that map that I published. And then we will see what else the world has to offer. But for now, I still haven't even finished developing Nefirin, so that's gonna be like kind of like the top priority on my list. My my biggest goal is to just get everything nice and organized in a way that I like, in a way that makes sense, in a way that I feel very proud and like happy to present to prospective readers or maybe even players one day. And so yes, and so that's my goal. I want to organize my content and I need to add content to fill those gaps because a lot of these things that I'm presenting, like especially the powers of the world, I have not written actual articles about pretty much any of them. I still have to fill out not even fill out. I still have to build the pantheons. I have like a couple scattered gods here and there that will eventually be part of like a larger pantheon, but I just don't have that written out yet. Oh, what I have oh, it's not even finished at all. Ooh. Yes, I always love taking older things, or not even older things, like existing things, and then just fleshing them out, making them beefier, getting all the content in there. It's just very satisfying to like find the gaps that you've sometimes even intentionally left and just putting more content in there. And yeah, so let's unzoom once again. Excuse me. Now we need to see content. Because I'm gonna have a lot of articles that I don't actually know if they'll fit into categories. And so I'm thinking, do I want to have like this kind of bigger list of categories that's like, oh, here are like documents and things, and like kind of sort them by template and just, just like the whole slew of articles by bit? Or do I just kind of want to keep things more like exploration friendly? Like people click on these big articles and then they just kind of go on a rabbit hole and maybe find some of these other things. The latter seems more fun. It seems more like we'll end up like kind of it's one of those keep the mystery up, not just present every single thing as like, here you go, here's the entire list of everything. I know there's a lot of content here, could be a little overwhelming, but you can make it work, right? No, I don't know. Yeah, people love going on like Wikipedia rabbit holes. And so I feel like that's kind of the same structure that I'm going to shoot for. Like, I will give you this, I will give you this table of contents here, but the table of contents will not have everything in it. It'll have a number of things. It'll have all these places. It'll have, eventually, all these gods and faiths and all that kind of stuff. Maybe even the people as well. Oh, Shivers with another gifted sub. Thank you so much. You are spoiling me today. I appreciate you. I will take another sippy in your honor. I dare say I will even take two. Oh my gosh, you're being so generous today. Just trying to keep that name up on the leaderboard. Yes, so one of the biggest things for me is going to be filling out kind of this people's category. Because I want to go into what the people are like in this world, and I have all these ideas and concepts for how it's going to work and what these people are going to look like. And in the end, we're going to end up with a lot of like a lot of huge differences. Like I want there to be a lot of diversity in the people design. So while at the base level, I am going to say that every single person in Malcora is a human, they're going to have different flavors of human. And that is going to be entirely based on their bloodlines, of which there will be three magical bloodlines. And then based on where they live and what has impacted the places that they live in. So whatever power happened to emerge near them will affect what kind of person they are and become. And so the nature of people in this world is not they are born into one form and they remain that form forever. They certainly could. But the form that they take on is very transformative and an adaptation more than anything else to different forms of magic that emerge where they live. So, kind of what I mean by that is if we go on over to Volcan, which of course is, this, because of magic, a lot of the people here did not used to be kind of like fire people, like they did not exist here previously as as people who are adapted to living in a lava hellscape. They became that because they were transformed through magical means into these people that now are okay in this place. But unfortunately, because they're perfectly adapted to living in a place like this, they're not really adapted to living anywhere else now, so they're kind of stuck. Depending on how intense that transformation was. An evolution, if you will. And so I want the whole premise of my world, of Malcora, to be that it's a very transformative place. That if anyone were to run stories here, you could practically take any place that I've written about and say, a new magic has emerged here. Here's what that looks like, and here's how that affects the people and the things that live here. And at that point, like, the world is your oyster. You can either run with the regions the way I've written them, kind of like in the, like, this is the present day, this is what this place looks like right now. You can stage your story here. You can also just go ahead and say, alright, well, the magic that did this, it's gone now. Here's a new one. And here's my take on how this would work. And I like keeping that kind of open to prospective storytellers and people that are just going to kind of like take this and run with it. And so everything that I've written here is like canon. That'll be good for the people who like to stick with the material as written. And the ability for it to change dramatically at any given time will leave it open to those kind of like off-the-wall storytellers that just kind of take things wherever their wacky brain decides to take them. And so yes, that is my goal. That is what I'm going to hope to convey with the writing that I do in the future. So I'm excited to explore that. Oh. And I do apologize if I have those moments where I just kind of sit and like my brain kind of shuts off for a moment. That's just kind of how it is this weekend. Brain not working so good. I'm quite tired. I've had a long existence, as it were. But I am happy to just carve out some time to, you know, work on beautifying this project that I love so much. So let's see. It irks me only a little that I can't have a view like this with the articles that are in the categories, unless that's a thing that exists. I don't know if it's a thing that exists, but I would love to have, like, in this UI, one of these little things that shows me all the articles that are underneath all the categories, just so I don't have to keep, like, clicking through things. And also the world homepage does not show the articles if they don't exist. So you see, like, this powers tab, it only shows divinity because I don't have any articles in the other two categories that I have under here. So they're basically treated like they don't exist until I fill them out. So yes, of course, we do have a couple of gods here. But yeah, so our goal, let's see. So is this? Where do I have that written? Is that under advanced edit? Content. Yeah, so I think my goal for this stream is just going to be getting all these categories sorted and giving them little descriptions, and then seeing if we can beautify their category pages a little bit, like by adding these descriptions. So yes, this one I'd already written. The denizens of Malcora worship a wide variety of deities with different origins and domains, some minor, some world-changing, but all important to someone, regardless of global significance. I think that's a good way to describe deities in fantasy. Because, you know, when there's a lot of them, like, some of them are going to be more important than others, some of them are going to have more influence than others, but they're all, like, super important to somebody. Otherwise, they probably just wouldn't even exist. So let's see. The world spirit. Content. Yes, how'd I describe the world spirit? I feel like, I still have this open. Okay, so we have the world spirit, and these, I'm just gonna start putting words down. Okay, so I'll refine this as I go. The world spirit. World spirits, plural? World spirits are the forces behind Malcora's natural and elemental magics. Believed to be older. Believed to be older than the world itself. And perhaps even its creators. So the idea here is that these forces kind of like constructed the world, built it, they saw its creation, and then the gods just kind of swoosed on in like, hey, this is a cool place you got here. Mind if we kind of scoot in? I will say they are not often worshipped. but deeply respected by many cultures throughout the world. So yes, people don't typically worship the world spirit, but they will acknowledge that like they're very influential, very powerful, very ancient entities. Not to be messed with. So I'll just pop that in there. That'll be the description for the world spirit. And as a working description, I think that's perfect. So the ley lines is the third power of Malkora. So again, we're just going to throw words down. And we'll worry about making them more refined later. The ley lines. Ley lines flow as an interwoven web. Do the world spirit have the power to grant other creatures magical abilities? So, this is kind of something that I've been kind of tossing back and forth in my brain for a little while, of how exactly I want people to have access to magical abilities. Because I want to say yes. I want to say that the source of magic for any person is going to be through one of the three categories of like, well, not the three categories, it'd be two categories of entities. And ley lines, of course, are just a natural force, not tied to any person. I want to say that all the powers that people have access to are going to come from either the gods bestowing that on them, or the world spirit granting them that power. But part of me also wants to say, would they be granting them the power, or would they just be acting on their behalf? So maybe mages don't really exist in the traditional sense, but under the watchful eye of a god, they're now able to summon this kind of specific power that's like, the god's the one actually doing it, but the person's the one saying, do that. So it's basically like clerics with extra steps. So I want to give you a soft yes. No wizards, only warlocks, pretty much. And so you could end up in this peculiar situation where you have these abilities because you have the favor of a certain god. But then you do something or ask them to do something for you with that power that goes completely against them. And so you lose that power. But because that god no longer likes you, maybe a different one does. Maybe a different god is like, hey, that was pretty cool. You want to do some more of that, but now with me? It could be a very funny chain of like, oh, I've fucked with this god, and now this other god likes me. Oops, I did it again, and now I have a different god on my side. I think that could be a funny story to weave. And so, we have the ley lines, flows, an interwoven web. Cast fireball to cook meat. God didn't like that and revokes your power. Yeah, exactly. It's like, my powers were not meant to be used in the culinary arts. You've disappointed me one final time. God 2 wants to mess with God 1, gives different power. Yeah, exactly. Yes, ley line slows an interwoven web throughout the lands of Malkora. I'm spelling things wrong. Throughout the lands of Malkora. Oh man, I'm trying to describe something, but my brain's not letting me kind of flow this description together in a way that I like, in a way that makes sense. So yes, the ley lines flow as an interwoven web throughout the lands of Malcora. I want to flow that into a statement on how they kind of exist in this kind of cyclical pattern of going dormant and re-emerging. And that is how magic do. That is how the world gets effed up. Because these ley lines will come through, they'll be like, oh, word? Change the entire landscape, change all the people around them, and boom. And so depending on the bloodline that a person has living in this place, they will then see different changes and different adaptations, and that is effectively what grants them like this kind of different like fantasy race. Because those with elemental blood are going to react to changes in the environment very differently. Those of Leyborn blood are going to react to the shift in the magical energy of the world very differently. And the Faith Kept are just going to be altered in any way that the gods see fit to protect them from what has just changed. And so the Faith Kept can just be all over the place. Anything could really happen to them because the gods can just be like, oh, so this thing has changed. Well, maybe this is how we get bird people. Maybe the environment has changed so drastically that you're living in this crazy forest now with these extremely tall trees. You're a bird person now. This is how you adapt to this new situation. You're a bird person. You can fly across the treetops. You can do whatever you feel like. We don't know. I just know that it'd be a crime if I didn't find a way to incorporate bird people in my world, because if you guys haven't noticed, I do like birds. At least a little bit. I like birds a normal amount. And that's a fact. Yes, the ley lines flows interwoven web throughout the lands of Malcora. Just a little, just a little. A normal amount. I'm very normal about my love of birds. A normal amount like a 7-year-old's love of broccoli, or a normal amount about her love of rainbows and unicorns? It might be the rainbows and unicorns on that one. Like, you take any child with a pointed special interest, and that's me with birds. That's why I spent a whole month drawing them. Totally normal behavior, I would say. The more you say normal, the more questionable normal becomes. True. Gotta keep you guys on your toes. You never really know how normal is. But I'm gonna say normal enough during the stream that normal just stops being a word. Bird. Yo, Alice803, what up? You got a sub badge now. You're a 1-month subscriber. You can thank old Mr. Schiffers up there. Oh my gosh, I saw your name and I like instinctively took a sip. I'm gonna say they ebb and flow in... That's huge. Oh, hold up. Oh no. In
Refresh yourselves.
Sippy, thank you. There you go. Perfect, thank you. But yeah, I'm just here to write stuff today, organize my world, Make things good. We say they ebb and flow in irregular cycles of dormancy and emergence. I'm updating a goddess since I promised Mochi some writing. Very good. Yes, we must all promise Mochi writing. Mochi's very good. I actually, like right before I started stream, I noticed there was a little notification in my box that something new was posted from Mochi, I believe. I don't know, I'll go take a peek. Because if it's more bird content, I definitely want to go look at it. Oh, it's about the sand-filled sea. Yeah, I love Mochi's new bird world. To no one's surprise. To no one's surprise, I adore that new world. I back it 100%. I was follower number 1. Like, yes, let us go. Let us do this. Okay, so we'll say this. The ley lines flow as an interwoven web throughout the lands of Malkora, carrying different forms of magic to all corners of the world. They ebb and flow in irregular cycles of dormancy and emergence, the latter of which has world-altering capabilities. I will take that. I'm a fan of that. I just wish there was an easier way for me to see that on my like world page, because there's, oh my gosh, I guess if I find some kind of article that I can just put in there. Okay, do I have, I believe I have an article that does exist about magic. It's a stub, or not a stub, but at least it's a draft. Is there anything like in here? Oh, there's some stuff. Yeah. I have it private because I don't actually think any of it was like ideally like finished, like done. Yeah, I'll say magic goes under the ley lines category. And we'll just leave it there for now. I'm gonna put ancient bloodlines into my introduction. We're just gonna do that. Let's see. What generic articles? I have all these I have a lot of generic articles, like you see all these little red dots that I'm just like I don't need these articles to exist anymore, and I just keep procrastinating on just like copy pasting them into a doc and then deleting them. Because I want to archive them, but they don't really belong in my world anymore. But we'll get there one day. Wait, Mapfember 2022. I don't have that in a challenge thing? Oh no. Oh, Mapfember 2022. I also don't have New Year's resolutions in there either. Okay, get in there. Other challenges. Boom. Boom. We're just doing a little bit of cleanup. Summer camp, summer camp. Wawa. Very cool. And so we have the Archivist's Hall. Yeah, the Archivist's Hall article is for patrons only. And that is something that I'm still going to be working on. I do have plans to introduce more like patron content to my world. It's just one of those things that like it's going to be something that comes up the more and more I restructure and reorganize. Because my goal is to have very, I want to say very, very simple, like forward-facing content for like players, like player-driven stuff. So if you go to my world, you will see that I have a little like selector thing where you can, like even on here, you see curate your experience, and you can be a seeker, and that is like a little player role. You don't get any like the spoilers, or you can be a game master, and you know all the spoilers. And so I want to start kind of like looking into how I can format my articles more so that I can have a more consistent, like, you know, you have the player view, which gives you very basic information, introduces you to the concepts, but you also have the game master information, which goes a little bit more in depth, gives you more of like the like story implications, more behind the scenes stuff, stuff that maybe you wouldn't want players to just go in knowing, but it's not like super crazy involved stuff. But then if you're a patron of mine, like if you support me on Patreon, you will get access to like the deep lore. Like more of what's really cooking in the back of my brain. And so it's just it is just, oh, you bonk me. How could you? Make me sit up like a normal human being and stretch. Hello, yes.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, and it begins. I'm bonked and I'm hydrated. Hello, yes, thank you. And yes, so I need to focus on figuring out how I want to separate like these kind of tiers of information. So I want there to be plenty of stuff to work with if you are a polycule here to tell you to take care of yourself. Hello, thank you, hello. Yeah, so separation of information that's varied enough to be like, it's interesting to either be like a, you know, you could be a player and get that basic information. You can be a GM and get more in-depth information, see like connections between articles, like to so that you can really pull a lot more information out of all of this to like really like run a game essentially. And then Patreon content for those who are just like really interested in getting more of like the behind the scenes, like the big details about like all this writing, like the deeper stories, the deeper meanings, and like all that kind of stuff. That's what you'd go to Patreon for. And then I'd give you your little, like, you know, you tell me what your account is, and I give you the little patron role. And now suddenly you have more articles available to you. Like, it'd be kind of like that. And so yes, I do have. That is what this article is intended to be. Well, we're giving you like a little sneak peek at what this is going to look like. The Archivist's Hall. And this is your central hub for all of Malcora's patron exclusive content. So there is knowledge to be found in this realm which even the most devoted of seekers may never find. You few, however, may yet uncover these secrets for yourselves. I like to think I'm clever and mysterious sometimes. Welcome, patrons of Malcora, to the world's back end and archives, where its greatest secrets of the past and future alike are kept. Yeah, so the last time I actually updated this was September. And I need to get back on that. Yeah, so let's see. All patrons. So the Ashen Cloister does have some of this patron content. Let's see. So yes, if you take the GM role, you can see this little, like you see the little line break here, and then you get this little thing here. It says this section contains GM information. So anything beneath that is going to be like your like special content that you can see. And if you don't want to see that stuff, you just go back up there and assign yourself the Seeker role, because oopsie, you DM'd yourself. And so, yes, and so now from here on, here's like the patron content. Like if you want to learn even more about this stuff, like look, here's like a whole article about this ritual that they do, and like the real like all the extra stuff that you really probably don't need as a game master, but is like really fun, like lore dumping essentially. That's what you'd get as a patron. That content specifically is a little bit sparse at the moment, but my goal is to get more of it in there. And so that's basically where we're at. So what we're doing. Where did I come here from? Directly from here. Fantastic. And I, of course... Okay, yes, I need an article that I can just kind of toss in for the world spirit. But I don't know that I have anything like that at the moment. I have to kind of... I have to make something. I don't know, we'll make an article for it. That's fine. That's a thing we're capable of doing. And so, what article type do I want to put this under? So what is our goal here? What is our actual objective with the thing that I'm about to make? So under the powers article, divinity, we have hold up. Let's do this. Deities. Oh wait, no, it's divinity, my bad. Divinity of Malcora. And so maybe I'd put that under the divinity tab. Leylines has this magic article. I'm curious if this shows up, even if the thing in it is a draft. Oh, absolutely it does. Okay, cool. So even if there's just a draft in there, no one else can actually see the article in there because it's not published. It's not even on here. But it stops the category from not showing up on the page because it's no longer empty. Cool, so I can just toss in basically whatever I want to. I can just do that straight from here. So what template do I want? I can make it a generic article. Would I want to make it an organization? Myth, legend? Go so far as to say it's a natural law, but I don't think that quite makes sense. I don't know, let's hover over these because it tells me more stuff. Certainly wouldn't be a condition. Natural law. That's like laws of nature and physics. The world spirit are like entities, so that would make more sense if they, I don't know, organization, kingdoms, baronies, churches of gods, secret societies, knights and wizardly orders, territorial, non-territorial. Yeah, because like the thing for gods and deities, it just links back to the character template. But I feel like religion? Yeah, that'd be organization. I think maybe it could function as an organization. I'll say it's an organization. If we don't like it, we could just change it later. We can just make it something different. Or we can't change it, we'll just have to make something new and delete this one, but whatever. And we'll just say it's World Spirits of Malcora. We'll go to the navigation tab. Parent category is World Spirit. It's a draft. Works for me. And now if I refresh this, it should give me all 3 categories, yay. Very good. Also, is this one, do we have all of our challenges in here? I don't really want the Mapvember article to be like at the top of this list though. I don't know. Let's click through here. Yeah, so we arrange these things. Ta-da! Yeah, Spooktober, Mapvember, New Year's resolutions, Bestiary February, and Worldbuilding awards. Yes, very good. I like that they're now in the correct order, at least. I could have sworn I had more challenge articles just kind of kicking around in here. I guess I don't have other challenge articles. I have other challenge entries, but I didn't make like generic articles for them, so they wouldn't really fit here. Okay. I think I will close out of this now. This doesn't quite need to be open. Yeah, I really skirted by this World Ember by like the skin of my teeth. I did 101% of World Ember. 10,133 words. And that was me writing up until like the very last minute of the stream where they're like, at the end of the stream, World Ember is over. We are done. No more. And yeah, I just straight up by the skin of my teeth. It's nothing like summer camp just a few months prior where I had like several days of time left over. Like I'd already finished everything. Everything was all good. And then I had time to just sit and like make my articles nice and format them well. Not this time. No. World Ember, we wrote to the last minute and we needed every single one. I don't think I even slept that night. Don't be like me, kids. Take care of yourselves. Sleep, please. Yes, oh my gosh. Like I'm still very excited about this. Look, I have more than 100 now. People following my world. That's very cool. I feel like I'm really moving up in the world, you know? Like I feel very popular all of a sudden. Oh, you know, I wanted to see cuz I think was it not posted that like you could like images and like comment on images now? Is that aha? So yes, you click on an image now and the like everything about it is different. I guess now you can I assume the space is empty because I guess you can like write stuff in here now. Maybe if you I don't know. Now we have to conduct some science. Now I need to know. Where is my pigeon? Oh, Pidge. Are you in stream sketches? Yes. So the RL pigeon. I'm just gonna say a good Pidge. Smiley face. And that is the description. Does that show up here? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. I was right. So now if you have a description for your image, it'll just show up down there. And you can leave a comment. Oh, I think that's really great. I think they did say like, you know, this is like good for the artists and people who are like posting a lot of images on here. Yeah, so now we have this. I guess now I'm a little bit more inclined to like actually fill out all the little info categories on the images. Maybe not every single one, but like maybe I'll want to start putting my website on stuff. I love the way it looks. Yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's really clean. For like my original art, I think I will start getting in the habit then of having like actual descriptions so I can fill up the space. Putting more stuff in there. And using the no link BB code a little bit less frequently. Like I certainly don't need it for everything, but I guess now people have the option of like getting a better close on my art. Yeah, getting a better look at my art. There we go. Those are the words I wanted to use. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm a fan of that. And this is just a badge, so that doesn't count. So yeah, now I guess if you like birds, you can just like straight up comment on every single one and be like, ooh, this one's cool, I like this one. Yeah, that's a cool addition. I like that addition. I don't know, I assume it's Dimmy who worked on that, but if it wasn't Dimmy, whoever else worked on that, awesome. I like that. I am a fan. Like I can just click on this now. Oh yeah, I have to go change the names because now people can click on them and be like, oh, so it's a Melkora map 4t.png. That's not ideal. What was I coming to look at? Places. Kingdom of Arcevelo. So I just wanted to see, because usually looking, okay, yeah, this is a lot better. Usually I'd click on like these images, these maps and such, and they'd be like this tiny little square on the screen. And then zooming in would like barely do anything. But look, now it's this full screen, full view. Very nice. I'm a fan. This is really good. This is really good. This is really dope. I do like that it shows the view count, because now I know that people are like coming and clicking on this map and trying to get a better look at it. I don't know, I think I kind of went crazy on this map. I think I did a really good job on it. And I do love that I can say things like that about myself now and not like cringe myself into existence. Because, you know, I actually kind of do like my own work now. I think it's pretty cool. And it's very exciting to just kind of be able to see it and look at it now in like a much bigger view. Much better tailored to actually looking at artwork. So yeah, I support this feature. I like this one. Like, especially with maps. Let's see, what else? Do I have antecedents? So there's also this map here, and boom. Full screen map. Empire of Ether map. Ooh, this one has quite a few views too. This is a challenge article, so it makes sense. But yeah. That's very cool. Just me geeking out about new features, don't mind me. Alright, cool. Okay, yeah, so... Oh, do I want to make a couple... Maybe I'll make a couple stubs of things that I know don't exist in my world quite yet, but I know that I will be adding soon. Like things I've already thought about, things I've started creating. Like I need to see if this already exists. Yeah, like I've, so this is one that I have already mentioned in other articles, but now I think deserves to have its own spot. So we're just gonna kind of make this a little stub. We'll work on it again at a later time. But we will say species, species prompt. And these are the Umberlin. I will do the unthinkable. I will make this a published. If you publish a stub, can you still reset the date on it, or is it like only for drafts? Because I have no guarantees whatsoever that I will keep working on this, but if it fits beautifully into a future challenge, I would love to just kind of save it for then. You can still reset the date. Okay, cool. So I'll come up with a super brief description of what the Umberlin are and post that. First, let's see. Let's go back to this. Almost all my stubs are published. Yeah, okay, cool. So that works perfect. And so we have, I think, the Yulvuri Umberlists article. Okay. The Umberlin are people whose beings have been altered to the core by the emergence of the ley line of oblivion. Right, so Umberlin are people whose beings have been altered to the core by the emergence of the ley line of oblivion. Now linked permanently to the ley line's energy, they cease to be if removed from the ley line's influence. So the Umberlin are sort of like this worst case scenario, essentially, of what can happen if a ley line emerges. They have been changed in such a way that if this ley line ceases to be, in power here, they will kind of just disappear with it. There's a lot of commentary that could be had on the implications of that, like what happens to them, where do they go? Do they die or do they go somewhere else? Who knows? But all that matters in this case is they are linked to this ley line to the point that they cannot exist without it. A lot of the people in the world, like, they can be changed by the ley lines emerging and they will be fine if they go somewhere else, but the Umberlin are linked specifically to the ley line of oblivion. So if they go anywhere else, they will just perish. And so we will say that is a people's, where's the, oh, I don't think I have, I didn't put categories into the people's thing yet. I only wrote them down, that's right, I forgot. So we will say people's faith kept, oops, faith kept, Leyborn, Are their eyes inky black pools of void? That I don't know yet. I don't know exactly what they would be visually. But I like to kind of imagine that kind of like the visual representation of this kind of magic would be kind of like black purple smoke. So I would like to incorporate something like that into their character design in some way. But inky black pools of void, I do that is one of my favorite like character design kind of little things that people do, like just these inky black eyes. I just I think they're cool. I think they're neat. So if I don't have something in my world with those eyes, it'll happen eventually. But I could see some smoky irises. Ooh. That'd be really cool. Like I will definitely have to have like a stream one of these days where I just kind of sit down and like mess around with design concepts and ideas for what I want people to look like. So I want them to look very different from each other. Not all of them, not everywhere all at once, but like but yeah, we'll see. I'm going to hmm. So now I'm trying to think like on the spot of what I want the category name to be for people with the World Spirit bloodline, because they have different names for the other two, but I don't have another name for the other one. Ooh. I almost want to say like primordial or something or primal, but those two things kind of sound like they'd be names for like creatures, monsters, like things like that. I love watching people draw character concepts. Me too. I, th- I think they're really cool. I really like watching like characters kind of come together and people just making stuff happen like that. Okay, I have to think of something. I get envious because people are not something I can draw. I mean, yeah, drawing people is kind of really tough. It takes a lot of practice. And there are certain ways of drawing people. Like it's also very different between like drawing portraits and like drawing people, and also making concept art. You know, like those are two completely different things and require kind of like a different outlook, a different skill set even. I envy those who can do both and do them both like really well. Like I like to think I can do both pretty well. It just takes a lot more effort for me to do, I think, than maybe it should. I don't know. Maybe it takes like a normal amount of effort. I don't know. Who knows? Hmm. I'm just gonna tentatively name it World Spirits because I just don't want to like fight with that right now. So Skani goes under World Spirits. Umberlin go under Leyborn. And so now we have a Leyborn race. We have a World Spirit race, and Faith Kept, we don't have anything for Faith Kept yet. Oh, and that is something I will have to figure out. Hmm. You know what? I will bring back the article that I just like kind of pulled and deleted that are the Boharan, because I do like their concept. I just what I had written what I had already written for them was it's a little bit out of my scope now, but I like a lot of the ideas that I had already in there. So the Boharan species will of course make a return. I just need to figure out exactly what I want them to be. And so I figure the Boharan are gonna be the primary kind of like people that live in the Kingdom of Arsavella. And that is what they will be based on. Oh, we'll just we'll create the article. We'll just shove it in there so that so that this category at least shows up on my world page. And we'll get there. Ugh. Oh man, you know, I think we have done, like, I feel like I've done a good job kind of narrowing down at least some of the little organizational things. Like, not a lot changed, but like all the changes are like in here. Like I've come up with a lot of more fun ideas, more interesting things I plan to add in the future. This has been very helpful. That's why I enjoy doing these streams. You know, as much like I'm really enjoying this, but as much as I would like to continue, I think I might actually need to cut my stream a little bit short today. Cause I'm suddenly not feeling fantastic. I think I would like to maybe just go lay down for a little while, take myself a little nap, maybe get some snacks in me. So yeah, so I super appreciate everybody who has come out to watch today. I hope maybe you got some work done on the side. And I look forward to seeing you guys again very soon. I will be streaming again tomorrow, though that stream might be a little bit delayed on the timeline. And nothing's like super confirmed right now, but Morrow did reach out to me about appearing on tomorrow's World Anvil stream. So if we talk about that a little bit more tonight, I'll have that like more confirmed for you guys on whether or not that's actually gonna happen. But if it does, you may be able to catch me tomorrow on World Anvil stream. We'll be talking about the con that just happened this past weekend. Or was it this past weekend? I don't even remember anymore. Time's not real. It was, yes, it was last weekend. But yeah, if you see me on there, my tomorrow stream may be delayed a little bit. If not, you should probably see me around, you know, same time tomorrow. And I will be having my little Sunday gaming stream. I'll be playing some more Graveyard Keeper because I can't get enough of that game. But yes, everyone, thank you so much for stopping by, watching, working, lurking, asking questions. I really appreciate you guys. And so, with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I will say adieu. Before I pop on out of here, of course, check me out on World Anvil if you haven't already. And I will once again plug my little Discord server for anybody who's not in there. So I post all my updates and all my announcements and everything. And I started throwing in like all sorts of world building resources that I find on the internet and being like, here's some cool stuff. If you have more stuff like this, you know, like post it in this thread, like all that kind of stuff. I am very much enjoying my little Discord server. I gave it like a facelift a couple weeks ago. Very good, very fun, but I feel like super out of it right now. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. You have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Drink your water, stay productive, have a good time. Or if you're like me, maybe go take some time to rest. Goodbye, everybody!